The New York City nurses strike reveals a fundamental flaw in U.S. healthcare. The best way to prevent future healthcare work stoppages is to fix how we pay for healthcare. Nurses at 8 other city hospitals reached a last-minute deal with their management, and is still perhaps the most high-profile example of tension between hospital executives and their medical staff. Now, I'm having this conversation in the eve of Boeing employees striking. 30,000 Boeing employees are currently striking as we speak. UAW is gearing up for another strike against Stellantis. Stellantis, who they negotiated with only last year, is refusing to make good on their side of the bargain. Let's look at the Boeing strike and cover that. Boeing, in an effort to withstand this strike, has decided to furlough their white-collar workers, by the way. What's good for Boeing workers is good for the public. On the West Coast, 33,000 Boeing workers are in the midst of the largest strike, U.S.'s largest strike. It's not just wages and benefits at stake. It's the question of whether we will continue to have skilled, secure workers making goods as delicate and as complex as airplanes, written by friend of the show, Alex Press. Okay? On Friday, 33,000 Boeing workers went on strike after voting down a tentative agreement reached on September 8th between their negotiating committee and the airplane manufacturing giant. The strike by the workers, members of the International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers, most of whom work at the company's gigantic Everett, Washington plant, the largest manufacturing building in the world, is now the largest active work stoppage in the United States, its first strike at Boeing since 2008. Boeing CEO Robert Kelly Ortberg installed earlier this year after the company suffered yet another publicity nightmare when the cabin panel of a 737 MAX 9 came off mid-flight in January this year, not to mention the highly suspicious deaths of 2 whistleblowers at the company, practically begged the workers not to strike, stating that the walkouts puts Boeing's recovery in jeopardy. We encourage them to negotiate in good faith. They got a new CEO on the line, okay? Many machinists are hogs, unfortunately. I don't care. Hog or not, they obviously recognize what's good for them and what's fair for them. This is what I always stress people. Unions are not about being a card-carrying member of like the American communist movement, okay? You join a union not because you're a socialist or a communist. You join a union because there's no other way to bargain for a fair contract. United you bargain, divided you beg. Okay? That's how this shit works. Let's see what more perfect
How long are you
union
gonna
has to
take it
say.
for?
As long as it
How long
takes.
it takes, man?
As long as it takes. Don't even care.
We're here for the long run, man. For a week, for
Yes,
2
sir.
weeks.
2 months. Why not?
Okay. What the fuck is Zelensky doing there, bro? This motherfucker is always looking for more money, huh? That's crazy. This motherfucker is always looking for more money, okay? No matter where. No matter where in the world. He's like, no, I just love it. I'm doing it for the love of the game. He does not like working, okay? I can tell. Classic Ukrainian commie, okay?
Need more money. Need more.
See? Bro, he did the Zelensky tagline. Yo, it's him, bro.
2 months. Why not? Need more money.
That's him. I swear to God, that's him, bro. That's him. It's him, bro.
Need more money.
32,000 Boeing workers are on strike in the Pacific Northwest. They walked off the job at midnight Friday after 95% of workers voted down a tentative contract agreement between Boeing and IAM, the machinists union. 96% of workers voted to go on strike.
Voted no, rejecting the contract, voting yes for strike. Us as machinists and mechanics deserve a better future for not only us, but for our children. This vote today determines that, the future of Boeing.
Workers rejected a contract that would have raised wages 25% over 4 years. After losing their pensions, years of slipping wages, and rampant safety problems, Boeing workers are demanding better.
We're supposed to be the best in the aerospace industry. They need to be paying their employees accordingly. They're willing to pay all their executives. The upper crust makes all the money in the world, but yet the people who build the planes can't. We're just trying to make a wage to afford to be able to have a house and feed our families.
Yeah, that's the other side of unions that like fucking Republicans and liberals alike refuse to mention, which is that in times of like economic downturn, like the company will go back to the workers and be like, we have to make cuts. Okay. So the union in that instance will also agree to certain cuts in an effort to ensure that the company continues to operate. Okay. And that's what's really funny about this fucking problem, which is that like every company, every executive, every single time will say, we'll go bankrupt if we do. We'll go bankrupt if we do what these unions are asking for. And it's like, dude, why would they want to bankrupt the company, you fucking idiot? Like, why? Why would they? Then they won't make any more money after that. No, they just want a larger percentage of the profits that they are creating for you. There is no value without labor, okay? Without labor, all you have is just sitting capital right there. That's it. And no matter how much we financialize our economy, there is ultimately no real value. There's no output. There's no production without workers. So when they go back to the table and they're like, dude, what the fuck? Like, give us some of this money back that we created for you. These guys go, oh, that'll bankrupt us. No, what they actually mean is, no, I don't want to because I really like my massive salary that I get by ensuring that I don't do that for you so that, you know, our shareholders who we actually care about, who I have a fiduciary responsibility to improve their profit margins, I will continue turning larger and larger sums year over year.
We haven't really had a pay raise in 10 years.
The wage increase isn't enough. Just over the last 7 years, I've lost 23% of my buying power due to inflation. The cost of planes have gone up, but our wages have not. It's stagnated. I make 23% less money. That's unacceptable.
And if you keep letting them take and take and take, when does it end? Soon we'll have nothing left and we'll just have to accept the shittiest thing they can throw in our face.
We've been seeing that they've done for the last 16 years when we've been in this pigeonhole of a contract, what they've done for their upper level and their management.
Yes, fiduciary responsibility means they legally have to do the thing that makes the shareholders the most money. Okay? That is what the fiduciary responsibility is.
They've been willing to bend over backwards and give them, you know, $20 and $30 million plus bonuses where they can't even support their employees that build the plane.
The future of Boeing is precarious, as the company struggles with a crisis of its own design, overwhelmed by safety problems and deluged with criticism after nearly 2 decades of financialization.
Well, problems continue to mount for U.S. aerospace company Boeing after another string of international safety incidents.
The NTSB says this photo shows the failed Alaska Airlines door plug still on the Boeing production line without at least 3 of the 4 bolts to hold it in place.
Our goal is to make sure.
Here's what they did, by the way. They outsourced their production to obviously cheaper companies in parts of their manufacturing, and they did this obviously to keep costs as low as possible to increase profits. Okay. They relied on like internal manufacturing less and less. They also dropped the standards on their own personal manufacturing, but they literally cut corners every step of the way. And with the increase of additional money that they got, they went and they did stock buybacks. Is Murat out there protesting? Dog, this is in Washington. What are you talking about? This is the manufacturing facility in an entirely separate division at Boeing. Okay? He is not a machinist, nor a part of Boeing that is unionized.
That Boeing makes the necessary changes and has the right tools in place to sustain those changes.
I really think that when you talk to people on the floor, we want to do a better job. We want the environment that helps us make that safe, quality work, and we expect Boeing to provide it.
Are you worried about company's financial state?
Nope, because they did this themselves, not us.
Workers are looking for input into production, with bonuses for delivering the safe planes that Boeing has regularly sabotaged.
We're going to be here for a long time. The deal's going to take a little while. It's definitely not going to happen overnight, and most of us are definitely prepared to be here a long time.
Anyway, law tip. Corporations possess a fiduciary duty to their shareholders to ensure said shareholders make the most money possible. If corporate boards don't do what is best for the profit of the shareholders can literally sue them for a buttload of money. Can I kiss you on the cheek in TwitchCon just once, please? No, please don't do that. Not exactly correct. They span off part of the company, Spirit Aerosystems, into a separate company, hoping it would have extra customers. But still, 70% of its revenue is from Boeing. With two companies instead of one, there are communication and quality issues. I mean, they bought Spirit Aerosystems, which was a separate company, if I'm not mistaken. But what I'm saying about outsourcing is true.